Yo, 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 we're back at it again. Another draft. We're trying to hit Mythic. We're starting today at Gold 4. I have ran out of ideas for draft concepts to talk about, so if you have any that you want me to go over, let me know in the comments below. Also, I forgot to say this in every single YouTube video because this is my first time doing it, but like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, so let's look at this pack. Last time we got our first non-7 win draft with blue-green, so we might just try to avoid it out of principle because that pissed me off. But we have End of the Hunt, we have Sundering Archaic, we got an Essence Scatter, and we got a Sonar. Those are our picks here. Because I ain't looking at the TAM. I've been pretty impressed with End of the Hunt. As we've seen in my draft so far, usually we pick that card and pop off. Now, I could just first pick a Converge card and just go all in on Converge, which is pretty fun. We haven't done a Converge draft yet, so what if I just slam it? Alright, let's see what happens. Okay. We have an Orisa Tide Choreographer. Nice Mole Drifter, but worse. Fix What's Broken. Nope. Blue-green card. That's pretty good in Converge because you can find lands. Then there's just Essence Scatter, land, Newt. I think we'll pick the Orisa. It's just a good card. I like good cards. Pyretic Ritual. Little Storm. Little someone opens Brain Freeze, pass it to us. Alright, so here we got Dire Dreams, Prismari Charm, Elite Interceptor, Potioner's Trove, or Land as our picks. So far we have no instant sorceries for Dire Dreams. Prismari Charm's a pretty good early game card. So is Interceptor. If we want to go all in on Converge, there's a Potioner's Trove and a land. I think we're gonna pick the Prismari Charm and not think about it too much. Alright, here we got a Wander Off, another Surveyor, and some Poopy. There's an Abigail, which is would be pretty good if we were that deck. So I think the pick is between Wander Off and Surveyor. Now Wander Off is obviously a decent removal spell, and if we are going converging, we're gonna be playing all the colors anyway. However, blue-green cards pair well with blue-red cards because they share a college. As long as we're not main blue-green, I'll be happy, right? Because if we said we're going to avoid that. But do I want the Wander Off? It looks like black might be open, but this is also the second Surveyor, so let's just pick that. See what happens here. Alright, so now we have an Arnin, a Quandrix Charm, a land, and another Wander Off. I just can't ignore 30 Wander Offs. Right? Like, that just seems wrong. Let's take a Wander Off. Let's wander off in this draft. See where it takes us. We got we have 4 different colors of cards, all of which are pretty powerful. So this goes back to what we were saying in the first draft. You stay open. You just pick the best cards. You see what happens. Read some signals. If we're taking everything we've talked about so far together, combine it into one. We're going to read some signals. We're going to stay open, and we're going to be picking the best card. Another Fix What's Broken. This card's poo-poo. I probably am going to take a land here. There is a Barrage, which, it's removal, but whatever. I find it funny that this is a green card. How many Boorags are in green? Like, the only Boorag I can think of off the top of my head is the black one. I guess, what, there's a black-green one? Is that what this is going off of? But the only card with Boorag in the name is black, so this should be a black card. Yo, what if they made fight spells in black and then gave green some actual real removal? Instead of forcing the same cards to be in the same colors and for green to forever be bad. Why would we want that? Why would anyone want that? I don't want that. Okay. A little tangent. Here we got a 5-mana draw 3. We got to follow the Lumerets with 0 life gain, and we have a Forum Necroscribe, which could be good. I'm gonna take the Embrace the Paradox here. May not play it, but we'll see what happens. When you're playing Converge, ideally, at the end of the packs, you get lands. That's how you know you can play Converge. In this scenario, we're getting kind of cucked. So what do? There's black-green cards that are open. And there's a Lorecaster. We don't have a lot of 2s, so we might just take a 2-drop. And take it from there. They want us to be black-green. Everyone who's drafting's like, black-green's the worst color. I'm not gonna draft it. I'll just pass it. They'd be right. We'll take a pull from the grave. Yeah, look, it's just every pack is just black and green cards, man. I guess we take a Rabbit Attack seems bad. Let's take Royal Treatment. We might be getting forced into black-green here after picking a bunch of cards we'll never play in black-green. I mean, I guess we could do black-green-blue and just not play the Prismari Charm. Alright, so the Diary of Dreams came all the way around. We're going to pick that up because people are underestimating that card. And now we'll take a Tenured Concoctor as a solid 5-drop creature. So let's bring this Prismari Charm over here. We only got 1 land. We might be able to do some crazy things here. We'll see. We'll take a Follow the Lumerets. We have some life gain now. And a card that wants us to gain life. Maybe we do Sultai spells? The newest game-breaking, format-breaking draft deck anyone's ever seen? Fractalize last pick isn't terrible. Oh, and then we open a Converge card, but it's one of the worst Converge cards. Magma Blood Archaic. For us, though, there's a bunch of uncommons that we could pick from, right? We got Flow State, Bitter Triumph, Additive Evolution, Teacher's Pest. So we're going to pick one of those. The question is which one? Bitter Triumph is removal. We have a bunch of 5, so it's probably not the evolution. Teacher's Pest is pretty good in the black-green deck. And then Flow State, obviously, is just a good card advantage card. I think we'll just take Bitter Triumph. It's removal. You can't go wrong. Empty the Warrens? Bro, we could have had Ritual, Empty the Warrens, and there's a Color Storm Stallion? Oh, I've been so sick. Been the sickest thing ever. Probably, and by sick I mean we probably would have lost still, but oh, I would have totally drafted that deck. I think we're just picking Wander Off though, right, guys? Just has to be Wander Off. God, so sad. Was there a blue-red angle? Not really. Stock Up? Oh, and Environmental Scientist? And Poisoner's Apprentice? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So if we cut blue and go black-green, would we want the Poisoner's Apprentice? Or do we want the blue cards anyway and just go 3-color? Orissa's really good. Oh my god, this is so sad. Okay. We just take stock up. We YOLO the stock up. We don't care at all. We slam it. Now we have shared roots. Okay. Okay. I mean, spells, soul ties, looking like a deck right now. Land, we're in. We're in. We don't lose hope. Alright, probably cut the Prismari Charm. Even if we end up playing red lands for the Sundering Archaic, Prismari Charm is so much better earlier. I mean, it's not like terrible late. You could still bounce something or whatever, but I don't think it's worth splashing. So I think we'll cut it. And then now we have Emil versus Terrafractal and Pest Mascot. Emil's pretty good in multicolor decks because you'll have different lands. Like if we have Island, Forest, Swamp, and then these duels, that's already 5. And then I mean, most of the time they'll 3. Even then, it's pretty good. So I think we'll take it. Terrafractal's also pretty good, but whatever. Probably gonna cut Fractalize. Do I cut Follow the Lumerets? I kind of want to cut Follow the Lumerets. And then here we have, so there's a 5-mana Converge card in the Archaic, but we have good 5-drops already. So we might just take another Mindful Biomancer here. Alright, our deck's pretty wonky, and I'm not confident in it so far. We need a rare. A good, juicy rare. Give us the Emeritus of Blue. That would be nutty. Alright, so we have Zombify, Wild Hypothesis. Zombify, not great. Probably just pick Wild Hypothesis. We can find it off the Surveyor sometimes. It comes up. Quick Study, sure. Bunch of red-white cards. We got a janky deck here. I'll just take the Rabbit Attack. So it looks like we're going to be splashing. We could splash blue or black from this position, right? Most of our main color is green right now. And we have 3 black cards and 5 blue cards. We have 4 black cards. The black cards and the blue cards are pretty equally power level, it seems like, because we have 3 removal spells and a 2-for-1, and then we have 5 2-for-1s in blue. Okay, we opened rares. We're popping off, guys. So we have Quandrix the Proof, which is probably going to be what I take. 6 mana, 6/6 Flying Trample, Cascade. Instant Sorcery is used. Have Cascade. Wow, imagine if we were like Tamir Storm. My god, it would be insane. And then there's also Blech, the Loafing Pest, which is fine in this deck. It's not broke. I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/4 at the very worst. The card's definitely good, but we'll take the Quandrix. We're definitely in the blue market. And we'll see what a Crop Rotation. I didn't even know that was in here. What an unplayable card. Alright, so we have Snarl Song, Terrafractal, Send in the Pest. We're leaning green-blue, even though I said I didn't want to play green-blue. Just because sometimes it's how the cookie crumbles. But we have the removal this time because we're splashing black. Do we want Snarl Song? This card's kind of busted. Yeah, we'll take it. Alright, we have Last Gasp, Teacher's Pet, another Orisa, a Run Behind, a Disdainful Stroke, and a land. A lot of options here. I'm leaning towards a removal spell, just so we don't lose any games. Because as long as we have removal, we can win. Disdainful Stroke hits more important cards. Last Gasp is better early, but yeah, I'm going to take Last Gasp. And now we have a Terrafractal, a Flow State, an Archaic, and a blue-red land. So right now we have 2 Converge payoffs. This is 23 playables, so, I mean, Flow State's just really good, right? We have Quick Study in stock up, and we can play it over Quick Study. We're probably not playing 2 of this Concoctor. I would play 1 Terrafractal, but I think Flow State's better. Planner Engineering. Sack 2 lands, search your library for 4 basic lands. Wow. There's a second Orisa, Sheoldric's Edict as well, and a run behind. I'm probably not playing Graphalon. Sack 2 lands, search your library for 4 basic lands. It's a lot of lands. Is that worth over just like an Orisa or a run behind or Sheoldric's Edict? I'm gonna take it. We're gonna take it, baby. I could be wrong. Definitely could be wrong. There's a Potioner's Trove, which just looks like a good Trove deck, honestly. I was going to take Land or Grapple with Death, but I think I want the Trove. And now we have Newt versus Stargaze. Do we need Stargaze when we have Flow State, Quick Study, Stock Up, Pull from the Grave, Orisa, Embrace? Probably not. Probably not. But Newt is good. Now we have the Transcendent Archaic. We have an Eternal Student, which we have no 4-drop creatures yet, and a Tome Blast. I think I want the Student over the Archaic. Now there's a Zamon's Experiment, which I don't know if we need if we have Planner Engineering. I'll just take a Burrog Banemaker. We did end up getting a Terrafractal. This Orisa is coming all the way around. Wow. Do I take second Orisa? Or a run behind? I think it's second Orisa. I don't know. Probably don't need the Embrace the Paradox if we have 2 Orisas. This is a lot of cuts we need to make. Maybe it's 1 Biomancer because we picked up Newt. Don't really think we need Royal Treatment in this deck. I'm not going to play 2 Terrafractals, but I'll just take it. This is 12, 14 lands. We need 2, maybe 3 cuts. Okay. Are we playing this Planner Engineering? I mean, we have 2 Converge cards. What are other ways we can get different colors of mana? We have Shared Roots and Potioner's Trove. If we want to try to get, like, do we play 1 of each of the other basics? Let's do a little T:(CR). Alright, so Terrafractal, you're never playing it on 2. You could play it on 3, but it's pretty bad. Is this enough creatures to win the game? Yeah, I mean, there's 1 down here in Pull. It's also a Wild Hypothesis. Do we want the Wild Hypothesis? Terrafractal can be better. I mean, 5 mana, 4/5 Vig that you draw a card sometimes versus Hypothesis, which you can play on like 4 for like a 3/3 Surveil 2 or 5 for a 4/4 Surveil 2. Triggers Trove and Diary. So maybe it's better than the Concoctor because of that. And then Pull from the Grave is getting a little worse as we cut creatures. But it might be what we need to actually win the game. Like getting back Quandrix or Archaic or Orisa, or like most of these cards, is pretty good for us. It'll just do nothing for a decent amount of the game, which we have to make sure we're okay with. I'm not cutting the removal. I could cut Quick Study if we have stock up at Flow State Diary. Like, we have a bunch of ways to draw and get extra cards, and Quick Study is probably the worst way of doing that. So I'm kind of in for cutting that. I mean, I do want to cast Snarl Song and Summon Archaic for the full value. We could put one of the different basics in and have Potioner's Trove. We should probably put... Alright, let's put both of the weird basics in, even though it'll probably mess us up at the end of the game. Or not at the end, just random times throughout the game. So this is 7, 6, 6. So we'll go 6, 6, 6. And then I think Island's less important than Swamp because our removal's in black. So we'll cut an Island too. So this is 17 lands. Do we go down to 16 lands because I'm greedy? I mean, I like being greedy. That's for sure. I mean, so one way to look at it is, yeah, we do have some 6s and some 5s and some X's, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that are kind of mana, right? So, like, and then we're really playing 17 plus 4 mana cards. It's 21 cards in our deck that don't actually do anything, but if we cut a land, we have 20 cards in our deck that does something. I don't really want to cut. I mean, Planner Engineer is probably the worst of these, but, like, I've never played with it, and I kind of want to play with it, So let's just get greedy. We cut a Swamp. We run this greedy-ass deck. We win the game because we're super cool and handsome. And let's get it. There's the mountain to mess us up when we have 2 black cards, but we're keeping. You can't tell me not to keep. We could Hypothesis on 3, Surveil 2. Try to find a land that is of the black variety. Could do it right now, but we don't even need to cast these black cards till turn 4, so we could wait 1 turn. Potioner's Trove. Wow, what a draw. What does he got? Nothing. Don't kill my Trove. I don't really know how you could, but don't do it. Nice. Alright, if we draw untap land, we could just go Orisa. If we don't, we'll probably play the Eternal Student. Banemaker makes... we could double spell, but then we have to Hypothesis for 2, so let's just play the Eternal Student, because if he kills it, it doesn't matter anyway, right? So... Which it looks like he does have something for 1 mana. It could either be Locust Spray or +1/+0 Indestructible, I believe, are the only options in the format. Unless there's some kind of mystical archive like Fatal Push or Cut Down kind of thing. Which I am unsure. I haven't seen it yet, so... Do we trade if he offers? Our guy's definitely better than his guy, but... we just don't. Like, we should have late game over white-black. Okay, he doesn't even attack, which is probably wrong. Unless he has no other creature. Okay, that's why. Stock Up's an interesting draw, and we should probably play Stock Up. Hit our land drops here. Okay. Some interesting cards, too. So, if we take 2 lands... it's not terrible. Diary Dreams does seem kind of nice, though. For just getting advantage. We have 3 spells in our hand already. Otherwise, we could go like 1 land plus a meal. I don't think we want the planner engineering at this point, because that means we would be essentially forced into casting it next turn. So I think it's planes, and I think I'm okay with taking Diary of Dreams. And now we just have Omega late game. He did nothing with 4 mana or 3 mana. So he either has a bunch of 5 drops or a bunch of removal. Scolding Administrator. Solid card. Dig Site Inventory. Okay, if he attacks now, I think he has +1/+0. Yeah, 100% he does. So we could take it and then try to blow him out next turn with Wander Off, or we could block and he uses it. I think it's better to wait until we have our spell up. Last Gasp is good too. But we only have 1 black. We could Orisa, try to hit some more lands. Which isn't terrible. We would essentially be forced into block. I mean, if we hit Swamp, we can play Banemaker. We do have Pull from the Grave, so our creatures dying isn't that big of a deal. Maybe it's Orisa. Let's go with Orisa. Let's draw 2 cards. We put most spells on the bottom from the stock up. Alright, nice. Now we can play the Banemaker. 5 different colors of mana in play. Always looks funny. We just chill. We hard chill. Now if he uses the Indestructible when we block with Banemaker, it's really like a who cares kind of thing. Then next turn we have 3 removal spells, so we definitely want to wander off the Administrator so he can't move the counters around. And now we're definitely going with the Banemaker block because it's our less important creature if he plays the Indestructible card. We'll just take 5. Silvercoat Charm. He exiles it after we block. Okay, I mean, exiling is kind of bad for us because we can't pull from the grave it back, but... we could wander off now on the Administrator while he doesn't have a white mana up. Which I don't hate. I actually kind of like that. And then we can gain 2 life off the Trove. We could also get a little greedy and just attack for 6. Or at least 2, right? Let's gain the 2 life. I mean, the 2 definitely goes in. It just does the 4 go in? We'll just send the 2. And we'll block this next turn, even if he has the card we were talking about. Yeah, we could have not gained 2 life and held up gas, but I don't even think we need to. Solid card, 5 mana, 4/5. That anticipates. It's another good wander off target. Puts a creature in the yard, so definitely drew something better. So it could hypothesis for a bunch, but he'll probably just kill it. And you won't be able to kill with Last Gasp. If he has like a Shiojin Zedic, it can kill tokens, or he's going to need one of the harder removal spells, but it would be nice to Surveil. You can also gain 2 life. And yeah, alright, so we'll go with that. Get rid of some lands. That feels pretty good. Gain 2 life, pass a turn. Diary Dreams is almost online. It was pretty greedy to keep Diary Dreams when we stocked up, but... Alright, that's pretty unfortunate. I was hoping he would have to tap more mana. That's pretty good here as well. We could chump. But, if he... Yeah, I think I'm gonna chump. Surveyor's not bad, because it lets us still hold up stuff. Put our best cards to the bottom of our deck. That's pretty cool. Really like that. We have enough black now, so let's get the green. And then probably end up wandering off on the Honor Mancer this turn. And then gaining 2 life. And then next turn we could start activating Diary. Or we could last a third one or a second one. Jeez. Yeah. That's pretty good. So, we'll see what he does. Gets rid of a third one and 2 lands. Let me just take like, he must have picked a rare, I guess. Let's see how he attacks. He doesn't attack. Huh. I feel like that's odd. Alright, we'll go with Last Gasp then on the 3/3. And then we'll gain 2 life. And then we'll draw a card. Orisa is not bad. Play it. No pass. I really didn't expect a black-white deck to go super far into the late game here. Like, I was hoping to just out-card advantage them, but they've played double Honor Mancer into a draw 2 here, so they're pretty well set up to fight in the late game. And the fact that we put our best cards on bottom is kind of worrisome. We do have a shared roots within these 7 cards that we could shuffle some cards back in. Alright, so we'll go for a double block here, and then if he tries to protect this guy, we have Wander off. He doesn't. Okay. Huh. Scathing Shadelock. It's a good one. Do we kill it? This only costs 2 mana. I think I want to draw a card. And then we'll just do this. I definitely don't want him to prepare. But I also wanted to hold up the Wander off for like tricks. Newt's pretty good here though. We could just play a couple big things, perhaps. Let's go with Newt. And let's go. So we'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will be. I don't want him to kill both guys. I think that would be kind of bad for us. So let's just play a tap land. Let's pass the turn. This is a sorcery, so like him pumping up the interceptor is fine. We'll just take 3 if he does. Or I mean, we could double block with the Inklings, I guess. That's an issue. It's another good late game card, man. Do we kill the Shadelock or do we kill the Necroscribe? If he plays that and then plays the Venomous, gets back one of these, but then if we kill the if we kill the Scathing Shadelock, this resolves and then he still has another way to target, it's pretty bad. So I think we have to kill that and give him a turn of value, unfortunately. Goes to the battlefield, dude? That's so disgusting. He's seen as many cards as we have. Actually, I kind of hope he gets back to Honormancer. Because he'll look at 5 cards, and then we could actually, like, mill him out, Loki. Gets back to Poet. Alright, we'll respond. We'll kill that. Discard the Swamp. Then we can gain 2 life, draw a card. I don't mind trading with the Inklings, I'm pretty sure. We've used most of our removal at this point. So yeah, let's gain 2 life. Let's draw a card. Little land. There's the shared roots. So I think we have to shared roots this turn. Just so we can shuffle the other cards back in our deck. Which all of these are good except for Planner Engineering, and the Mindful Biomancer is kind of mid. Now let's draw for free. See what if we hit one of our better cards. We do. So let's go land. Red, white, black, green, blue, blue. Cast Snarl Song. And then we'll just gain 2 life. and we'll pass a turn. So now we're up to 18 life. We're pretty safe. We just have to end the game. Our pull from the grave looks pretty bad here, as we thought it might in our deck. Now he starts doing the removal. And we did expect him to have removal. He's barely played any. That's his second, kind of third one. But if he kills off a Newt, I want to get the Terrafractal in play soon so we can have another good pull from the grave target. Yeah. I still think he has black +1/+0 indestructible. And I think he's going to do that here on one of the cards. And I think he obviously can't do it on both cards. So I kind of want to do something like this. If he obviously has like white +2/+2 first strike also, that'd be bad. Yep, there's that. Okay, so we trade our 5/5 for his 5/6. We get the card out of his hand. Flow state isn't bad, but I guess we draw for free. We hit the Archaic, which is awesome. We could just jam that and do it for 5. Black, green, blue, and another green. Kill that. And then we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. We could do this for 5. That's probably good enough, honestly. Attack for 3. Start getting this game over with. So in our deck, we know we have our Quandrix, we have a meal. We have 4, 5, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1 land, and then 3 other cards. He just scoops the game. Alright, we take that. We got greedy many times in that game, but it worked out. Alright. Nice little hand here. Got some 2-drop, 3-drop, and then if they die, we can pull from the grave. It's probably pretty greedy to be playing pull from the grave in our deck, but we are. Ugh. Alright, so we're up against black-green rares. It's gonna be tough. We'd probably just go land attack. Because he won't block. And we're not going to have the mana to hold up on his turn. But we'll play our 3-drop that is already at 3 different lands. So in this deck, this could be 7, right? We have 1 of each basic and 2 duels. Which could be pretty sick. Exile again is unfortunate. Mana efficient to play the Follow Luminrats. You don't get the double thing. But, I mean, it's still good regardless. Alright, we have Wander Off now. Which we could play. Or we could just Hypothesis for 3. I think I like Hypothesis better. Helps us set up our draws. We don't want land. And Flow State is fine. Attack for 2. Next turn, probably just cast Flow State. I mean, we have a sorcery, so we could actually play an instant first, and then we'll wait to Flow State. Here we'll just attack for 3, I believe. because the Scholar doesn't trigger if the creatures die in our turn. And Wander Off's an exile, so the only thing to consider is if we have 2 creatures back. Oof, yeah, that's a good one. Holding back our guys would have worked out better. But we'll still get to kill the Scholar here. We take 7. He triggers his council twice. But now Flow State's online. And he can pretty much guarantee the council because he has Stream of Life and a Pest in play. Technically, we could Snarl Song for 3 here. But I think I like Pull from the Grave. I like Flow State better. We get the Quandrix. And do we want E-Student or Mountain? E-Student we can play right now, which is pretty nice. Mountain obviously is good with the Snarl Song. I think I just want the Student. And we'll play the Student. Now let's see. So if he gains life, these guys get +3/+3, so it'll be a 4/4 and a 5/6. The 4/2 can block the 4/4. Our guys combined can't really block the 5/6. So I guess we attack with both. He could kill our guy, gain life. Like, he could do it all if he has enough. That won't really be triggering anymore because of the council. Because all his guys will be bigger. Doesn't attack with both. But he would get the trigger here. But then he has 1 less creature in play. So I'm actually okay with that. Oh, he has a combat trig. +1? Oh, he sacks it. Okay. That could have killed our 3/3 token, but I mean, drawing 2 cards is great. Okay, so those guys are big, but Quandrix the Proof is probably going to be pretty good here, so let's jam it. We hit a Shared Roots, which is unfortunate. We'll get one of our weird basics. I don't think it matters which one. I like how the Mountain looks, so we'll go with Mountain. Then we'll pass a turn. If we untap Condrix, alright, he destroys it, but we do have Pull from the Grave, which currently still only has 1 target, but if we look to double block here, we'll have 2 targets most likely. If we pull from the grave next turn, we'll have 4 mana left. If we draw land, we could pull plus Orisa after we trade here. 5/6, we'll gladly trade. It will trade with 2 guys, but it is what it is. Drew land, but it was tap land. So I think our play has to be Snarl Song, because it just impacts the board the most. We'll play our land. Any creature he draws is good just because it gets +3/+3. But he doesn't attack, which is actually humongous for us. So let's go Orisa for only 2 mana. Hit some cards, and then we're definitely going to pull from the grave here. Getting back Quandrix and the Mindful Biomancer. And then we can play Potioner's Trove, gain 2 life, or do we just play like a Newt? It's probably just play a Newt. And we just pass. And now we're sitting real nice. Yeah, he loses. GG. Alright. We get a little messed up again by the mountain, so I think we're forced to mulligan this hand. And then we have another bad hand, but if we hit a land, there's a good chance we could come back into the game, and we'll ditch one of the wander offs. We'll be able to shuffle it back in anyway. Quandrix is just too good. Shared roots, awesome draw. We will just... So if we get Swamp, we can't Surveyor, but we can still play a meal, and if we draw any land after that, we'll be able to play these other cards. So I think we should get Swamp. I mean, if we get just like Forest, then we can play this, get a different land, but we don't know if we're going to get a land technically. Killian's Confidence, pretty good here. Doesn't really advance his board, but he draws a card and gets to deal some extra damage. We didn't draw a land, which is unfortunate. Yeah, maybe it was better to just get a forest or island. I was just worried about not getting a swamp after with the Surveyor. Like, it could find us a land, but it might not be able to find us a swamp. But it would probably get us a land, meaning we're closer to our other cards anyway. Sure, I'm willing to trade. I mean, he probably has a card, but he doesn't get back his confidence if we block, which is nice, and then we get the card out of his hand, which is good. Alright, we just trade. Solid card. Alright, nice. We hit land. We could exile it, but I think Surveyor is the play here. Slightly less mana efficient, but it gets us to our stuff, and then we already have enough, so we'll get the mountain. Any creature with 3 toughness is pretty good against a Professor. Might just kill it, but if he uses removal, we have Quandrix, which we don't want to die anyway, and then we don't want the E student to be exiled. Feed the Swarm. Alright, at least he takes 3. It also uses at least half of his turn, maybe his whole turn. A second Professor, that is pretty strong. I still think we're priced into Orisa here. We will trade and get closer to doing relevant things. Obviously, he can bring back the Professors, but we just can't let him attack us for a bajillion, so... Get Bats of Confidence. What else? Okay, he does nothing. Probably has removal. Or he could just activate this. We have 6 mana. So we could just play Quandrix. We could Potioner's Trove into a 4-drop, which is pretty efficient. And then next turn we could start wandering off and gaining life. Quandrix, only bad hit is probably Snarl Song and the Archaic. Well, we can't hit either actually because there's 6 drops. Let's just go with Quandrix because the other play only puts 1 creature into play and this has a chance to put 2. Alright. Ditch these. Get the plains. Definitely get a swamp. And then, yeah, we'll just get one of each. This will be a close game. I think we can come back with Trove. And now we have 8 mana. So we have more mana to work with, at least. Bitter Triumph, yeah. We're guaranteed taking 3 here, maybe 4. Looks like it's 4. Now his choice, does he want to bring that back, or does he want to just activate Professor? Or if he finally drew a land, he can play a 3-drop. He still hasn't drawn a land. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. We could spend 3, go down to 5, but it's going to go up to 6. And then we could wander off plus gain 2 life. That's probably the play. Start exiling, at least exile one of these guys. Is there a hexproof in white black? I don't think there is. This is lethal already, right? So I probably should have just did it on my turn. Thinking about it. But I don't think there's a hexproof. We're in a tough spot either way here. More guys that are good on the board. Tough. Let's stock up, try to find Snarl Song. No. Biomancer's fine. If we get Biomancer plus land, we can play both our creatures and still gain 2 life. So I guess that's the play. Nine, 10 mana. Finally draws a land. This dude is 18 cards deep and he's seen 5 lands. Like, that's why we lose here. Yeah, he just only drew spells. He didn't draw any lands in the game. And he played back-to-back rares. Alright, next game. On the draw, no castables, but I'm probably keeping. Another black-green deck, maybe splashing a white rare. Surveyor is a great draw. He's got really good on the play 2-drop, 3-drop that are synergistic. It's pretty bad for us. Hopefully we hit a swamp. We do. Tap land. At least there's no 4-drop this turn. But he kills our guy and hits us for 7. Yep. This is an optimal draw from our opponent. Again, it'll be hard to win games in that scenario. We could Terrafractal for 2, which would make it a 3-2. Gain 2 life. Or we could kill off a guy. Well, if we draw land next turn, we can go a meal plus hold up last gas. So I do want to spend 4 mana this turn. Unfortunately, this has ward. We could just last gasp this and pay 1. And we don't get to do that play I talked about next turn. But if we play Terrafractal, then he just kills it, and then we take half our life total, it's pretty bad for us, right? So probably have to do this play. I mean, we have removal, so casting it's good. Help us survive until we Quandrix him. Doesn't play the other half, which I find odd. Orisa gets us closer to finding land for Quandrix. Terrafractal gains us 2 life. It also is... It still dies regardless. I think we Orisa. That's why he didn't gain life. So, yeah, we trade here. We go to 5. We're definitely going to kill the pest mascot. Don't really have much of a choice there. Then next turn we can Emil and kill another thing. Great, and then we lose one of the worst cards in the format. 2 counters. Another defeat on the board. Just not being able to cast our cards, and our opponent on the play just goes 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and we lose. Let's take a look at the deck to see if we can make it a little quicker, just so we stop losing to these bad decks. We could throw in another Biomancer, I guess. Sure, we'll do that, just because this is pissing me off. And then we will cut one of the slower cards. We can cut Pull from Grave, I guess, because we've seen it's been kind of bad. Kind of worried about other late game decks where we run out of threats. And we added at least another creature in the deck. So, or I could cut Diary of Dreams over Pull. Let's cut the Pull, I guess. Alright, we're 2-2. We could still win the draft. We've seen it before on the channel, I believe. Alright, that's a good hand. We're finally on the play. Thank God. Another bad thing about Magic is the play draw. There are so many things I would change about this game. Yet I still play it and still love it, so, you know, you could take what I say with a little bit of salt. Alright, he's not doing anything yet. Let's play our Surveyor. Could have Hypothesis for 3, but Surveyor, we want the lands anyway, so Actually, it did hit a Terrafractal. Yeah, I think we're gonna pick the Terrafractal. You could draw land naturally, and if we don't, we could still hypothesis to try to find what we want afterwards, so I'd rather just have a spell in my hand than a land. 4/4 Death Touch, pretty good. We did hit land, so we could play our own 4/4. Or we could play a 4/3 flyer. It's also pretty good. Both are pretty solid here. Surveil 2 is nice. Let's go with the Terrafractal. Put the pressure on him. Next turn, we could play Bitter, Triumph, and Flow State for max value. Or if we draw if we just raw dog a mountain or plains, I could see just playing Snarl Song. Witherbloom Charm's a good one. Doesn't attack. I do kind of want to kill his guy before he gets to activate the other half of it. So let's do that. We'll pay 3 life. He's got something in response. He has a royal treatment. Yep. Okay, pretty unfortunate. It's a good card. But we did draw Newt, so let's just play the Newt. Does not cat. Oh, it's an instant. Why is that an instant? This should not be an instant. Never in a million formats would I make this card an instant. It just doesn't make sense. That's poor design right there. Let's go Flow State. Definitely get Quandrix. And I guess Potion of Control is better than Plains because it's kind of like a Plains, but we could just play it right now and gain 2 life, so... And gain life for the rest of the game. So he mills 7 and puts his own Quandrix into play. That is pretty bad. At least he didn't get the initial cascade off of it. But doesn't mean he won't in the future. He also milled probably one of his better cards, a bunch of lands and some interaction. 5, 6 plus 3, 9 lands. Cascade into Prismari Charm. Pretty good. And then he gets Athena's Guidance for his best creature and put it into his hand. And we also don't get to block his 5/5. Yeah, we probably 2/3 this draft again. Unfortunate. I think got pretty unlucky so far in this draft. Just some really hyper aggressive draws from our opponents that were on the play. Perfect curve outs into perfect removal. It's pretty hard to beat that a lot of the time. Well, we will try to wander off this Quandrix. Alright. And then we'll play the Noxious Newt into his Essence Scatter, I'm assuming. No, okay. Attack for 3. Deduce. Okay. So he found his best creature in his deck was a Scientist, or he has a Converge creature or spell, and he wants to just get the last color of mana. which I think is the case. He probably has Together as one or one of the archaics. It gets Mountain, which is odd then. Oh, see, I guess he could have a double red card. I'm trying to think of what double red cards there really are, and I can't really think of one. This is really annoying. This having Ward 1 also has been extremely difficult for us to handle here. Oh, maybe Crackle with power? That could be the only thing I could think of here. Let's see. Could Quandrix ourselves. It trades bare minimum. Or we could wander off, pay the 1, gain 2 life. Maybe that's the best play. Maybe gaining life will help us survive this turn. I don't even know, dude. Probably not. Probably does enough damage already. Tam, yeah. Would have loved to kill that instead, but I was worried. Okay, let's play Quandrix. That was pulled from the grave. Would have probably been worse here. Next turn, depending what we draw, might just be a big hypothesis. Gain 2 life and perhaps cascade off Quandrix if it is alive. Wish I had a way to get back in instants and sorceries like the Divergent card. That would have been nice. Well, if he doesn't have Crackle with power, maybe we can... It's one of those games where we mill him out and just survive. Snarl Song is pretty good at surviving. There's one of the archaics. The Newt's not bad against it. But I think we still hypothesis for 6. Cascade. To Orisa, that's pretty sick. Get rid of that land. We'll keep Barag Banemaker on top. We will gain 2 life. Do we trade with the archaic? Probably not. There's the Crackle power that I talked about. Deals exactly 10 damage, and we lose the game. Unfortunate. Not much we could have done there. Pretty sad about this draft compared to the other one where we lost, where that deck was a little bit more cohesive, but didn't have a lot of removal. This deck did have a lot of removal. It also had a lot of cards we could play early. If we get rid of these, it did have an actual decent amount of early game, but we got mana fucked, or sorry, mana screwed multiple times. We had a mulligan, and yeah, I would draft and play this deck again. any day of the week, and I would expect us to get definitely way more than 2 wins. Unfortunately, that is what happened. We will claim, and I'll see you in the next one.